A month or so ago, Tidradio reached out and said they'd like to send me the latest version of the H3 Plus. I've done a review of the H3 and H3 Plus, but the version they're shipping now has some hardware updates. Of course, I said yes, and the latest version of the H3 Plus showed up on my doorstep a week or two later. So, let's take a look at this newest H3 Plus and the accessories they sent along. This kit is available on the Tidradio website along with a couple of other accessory assortments. It's currently on sale for about $55. As always, I'll show you the radio and offer my own opinions. Let's start with some of the things that make this different from the previous version. I'll leave a link on the end card to this video to my previous review. I'm going to try to avoid too much duplication. Most of the changes have to do with Bluetooth capabilities. I have a couple of Bluetooth radios and some accessories, and there always seems to be some connection issues. For example, one accessory will work with one, but not the other. The H3 Plus has some expanded Bluetooth connectivity, which helps, but it's still not universal. The latest H3 Plus includes basic rate, enhanced data rate, and Bluetooth low energy modes, both in the 5.1 and 4.2 standards. I've connected it to my phone with the OD Master app, used the Tidradio Bluetooth PTT and mic combo device, and I used the Tidradio Bluetooth speaker mic that came with the kit. I've also connected it to a set of inexpensive earbuds and the Abri Bluetooth speaker mic, my Galaxy S25, both as a source for music and some other things. You need to go into the menus to make sure things like the Bluetooth mics and speakers are on and the gain is adjusted. In the case of the Abri mic and my earbuds, there was no PTT input that I could find. So, for example, I could hear the radio just fine through the buds and the speaker on the mic, but had to use the radio's PTT to transmit. If you're using the radio with the earbuds in a crowd, that's not a bad thing. You won't be disturbing those around you when you're listening. The OD Master social elements, as well as the internet-based repeater system I mentioned in the earlier review, apply to this version too. I was able to program the radio using Chirp, the OD Master app and website, as well as the Tidradio factory CPS. The H3 Plus used the USB-C connection behind the side cover for programming. This means no special programming cable, just a data-capable USB-C cable. Keep in mind that when using the website, you'll need to connect via Bluetooth. I do that by querying the online system using the OD Master app, then downloading my desired data file into my phone, and then connecting to the radio via the OD Master app. If your PC has built-in Bluetooth, you can probably avoid some of that. This Tidradio graphic shows some of the main features. These include airband receive, the internet-based features through the OD Master app, and the expanded Bluetooth capabilities. This graphic refers to some of the technical upgrades to this version of the H3 Plus. When comparing to the H3, the hardware version changed from 1.0.0 to 1.0.1. This likely represents the improved processor and storage. I'm not sure if the enhanced Bluetooth included improved hardware on the circuit or not. Let's take a look at what came with this kit. So here's what's going to come with your H3 Plus. They come in several different kits, and we'll be showing you one that includes the Bluetooth push-to-talk plus the Bluetooth mic. So let's get started. Here's the box that it all comes in. Let's take a look what's inside. First, for charging the H3 Plus, we've got a little wall wart with a USB-A side here, and then we've got two USB-C cables, both of them with A on one side and C on the other. That's because the Bluetooth mic is also rechargeable, so we've got one for the radio and one for the mic. Before I forget and jump too far into this, let's take a look at the owner's manual. You can see it's labeled as the H3 Plus. I think on the review that I did previously on the H3 Plus, the manual did not have the word plus on it, but this is a really nice manual. It's pretty typical. Tidradio manuals are usually a step above, and this is no exceptions, with diagrams and explanations. But what's really cool is here at the back with the Bluetooth, which can be kind of confusing, I found, is that there are step-by-step instructions on how to configure the Bluetooth commands in the radio to both connect to your phone, connect to the OD Master app, and to connect to the Tidradio hand mic or push-to-talk. So all that is described here in pretty good detail with color photos, and allow you to do those connections as easily as possible. Now, it also has some instructions on how to use the OD Master app. I've covered the app before, and so I'm not going to spend any time on that. But in terms of an owner's manual or a user's manual, this one's a cut above. So here are the extra Bluetooth accessories that come in this particular kit. Again, look on the sales page to make sure you're ordering what it is that you want. But first is this Bluetooth microphone. A long press here will put it into pairing mode, and you can pair it to the radio. It's got a push-to-talk and 2 side keys, just like the radio does. And then behind this little flap is the USB-C charge receptacle for this. And so that's the microphone. It also has a clip-on style belt clip, if that's what you'd like, and it fits in this little hole right back here. And then the other thing that's comes with this that applies is one of the lanyards. And so the lanyard is there, and it can fit here on the back of the microphone should you choose. Now, the other Bluetooth accessory that comes with it is this push-to-talk button. This push-to-talk button can be used with this little Velcro strap through the back. You could put it in your hand, strap it to a steering wheel, and this includes both the push-to-talk button and a microphone. And so when you have this paired to your radio, for example, if you were driving, you could push this and then talk at it, and the little microphone right here would go over to the radio, and your voice would go out. And when you have it paired to your radio and push to talk, the little indicator on the screen of the radio will go. I found that there's a bit of a delay, third of a second when I push the talk here, and almost immediately here on the radio. Now, this little cable is the second half of what this little push-to-talk button will do. And this will act like the Tidradio Bluetooth programmer, like the BL1, in which case you plug this into a USB-C connector here, and then you can plug this into any of a number of radios that have these K1-style connectors that support the OD Master app, and you can use that then to program other than Tidradio. So a bunch of the Baofangs, some radiodities, there's a whole big list that you'll want to check that you could use this as a Bluetooth programmer for, as well as just as a push-to-talk Bluetooth with the radio itself. So that's our Bluetooth accessories that come with the radio. Now let's look at the radio. So here's the antenna that comes with this, and it's marked as an FXUV antenna with 144 to 436, 435. The letters are kind of small in there. So this is a ham radio, and it would cover the ham radio spectrum. So here's the H3 itself, and it is virtually identical to that one that I showed you earlier. I did notice that this one is labeled as the H3 Plus here, and that is really about the only thing that's different from that earlier version. You can see it's got the screen, the buttons, various control buttons here on the side instead of on the top that you often see. Push to talk, push to side key 1, side key 2. On the top, you've got these little lights that show transmit and receive, and it also has the breathe mode that the earlier version had, which these will flash every few seconds as specified in the menu to remind you that you have the radio turned on. There's a little loop for the wrist lanyard for the radio. On the back, we've got the battery spots for the belt clip, and I've got that here. I've got that here in the little plastic bag, as the screws are really small and I don't want to lose those guys. And then again over here we've got the cover for the K1 connector and a USB-C connector here on the side, and that USB-C would allow you to program the radio via the CPS, and this USB-C within the little indicator here is for charging the radio. So programming over here, charging over here. And so that is the outside view. Again, very similar to the earlier version of this, but this is the 25. So that's the outside tour of this radio. Again, very similar to the earlier version of this H3. If you're finding this video helpful, please click the thumbs up button below the video and subscribe to the Gadget Talk channel if you haven't already. There's also a join button below the video where you can learn about becoming a channel member and a thanks button to make a one-time contribution to support what we do here. Now, let's do a quick power on tour. So let's turn the radio on and do a quick power on tour. So on the screen here, you can see we've got the radio signal strength indicator at the top, the little antenna. It's on high and wide. The battery indicator is there. The frequency is there. This is how it comes out of the box, so I don't have anything named. Otherwise, the name would be going there. It's in channel modes. And so in this box here, you can see it's on channel 1. The lower register, since I have this in dual mode, is on 146.0. Again, right out of the box. This button over here in the corner allows me to go from A to B. And you can see now I'm in VFO mode, and I can just type in frequencies using the AB key here. Or I can go in and change frequency mode and channel mode here using the VM or the orange button. The blue button will give me my menus, and a long press on the blue button will show me that I've got Bluetooth turned on. So look at that right up here. You can see that it's Bluetooth, and the radio announced that it's in Bluetooth mode. So let's take a quick look at the menus. We go through this, and I've gone through this item by item with the older version. And when I go down here into radio info, so you can see that the radio ID is 123. You can change that depending on the DTMF calling plan you might be using. The radio alias is the same as what it was before. Here things are different, though. The firmware version is 1.0.30, and I've upgraded the firmware on my older version, and it's 3.0. But the hardware version is different. This one is version 1.0.1. So they have made changes to the hardware, as this is now the 1.0.1 hardware version. As we back out of this, we can see then we've got radio settings, which are all the things you're used to: squelch, Vox, timeout, timer, Roger, beep, all of the same thing. If you'd like a more in-depth look at the menus, take a look at my previous review that I'll link at the end card to this video. We can program our channels. It'll give us all the things we need there. Sub-audio tones, bandwidth, power, all of that good stuff, which makes programming from the radio's faceplate pretty easy to do. We'll back out of that. We looked at radio info already. You've got a scan menu. And then we've got the Bluetooth menu that I'm going to take just a moment to take a peek at here. So if we go here, we'll open this up, and you can see the first one is to turn Bluetooth on or off. We see that it's on because I used this shortcut by pressing the Bluetooth key until the icon showed up. Then we're going to go into Bluetooth mode. In this case, we want it to be the receiver to connect to the Bluetooth microphone. And so we're going to be doing some pairing, and I've got it set as receive. We can go down and identify the Bluetooth name, and it's the plus 1625. And the previous version had a different number. So again, there's some differences here. We'll back out of this. We go down to Bluetooth pairing, and you need to make a choice whether it's paired or pairable. And so if it's pairable, we select that, and then we would put our microphone or our push-to-talk into pairing mode. And otherwise, this isn't going to work unless perhaps it was previously paired. And we'll back out of this, and we'll go down to OD-PTT. We can select that as we're transmitting into basically the push-to-talk over cell that you can use on your phone using the OD Master app. You can build groups in the OD Master app, and then you can use this radio and the OD push-to-talk to connect to your phone and use the push to talk to trigger messages going back and forth in that. The OD mode, we can look at that. It's local, forward mode, or full mode. And again, we've got some more things. We can control the Bluetooth internal mic, the speaker mic gain, Bluetooth speaker gain, and a whole bunch of other things that might be important to you as you look at the Bluetooth aspects of this. We'll take a quick look at the internal mic selections as you can have it on or off. So that's pretty easy. But it's a pretty comprehensive set of Bluetooth menu items. And so we're going to back out of that. And that's the last of the major subdivisions of our menu. Back out of this one more time. And now we're back to where we were. Again, my previous review shows the rest of this with power on and how some of this works, so I'm not going to go into that any further. What I will do, however, is connect my Bluetooth microphone that came with this set and show you how that works. And so we've got the microphone right here. I'm going to do a long press on the top to turn it on.
Power on.
Now you can see that this is blinking right here. And so I'm going to go here to my Bluetooth menu again. Go down to pairing. I'm going to select one or pairable. And now it's searching. This usually takes a few seconds. And now you can see that it came up, and this is the code letters for this particular one. This is the one I want, so I'm going to select it. Now that Bluetooth connected came from the microphone, so now I've got this done. I'm going to back out. And as I mentioned before, I can press to talk here, and you'll see it up here. Notice I don't have my antenna on. Let me go into VM mode. So now I'm in VFO. I'm on the UHF call. I'm not going to go out very far with this, but I'm just going to press it to have you see that I'm connected here to the RSSI indicator here at the top. So here's the press. And there is the output. So you can see that now I'm connected, and this particular one has a speaker as well as the push to talk. If I were to pair this device, which is just the push to talk button, the process is exactly the same, except that little device does not have a speaker. And so you listen to whatever you were receiving off the speaker on the radio. So that's a quick power on overview here of the H3 Plus with the 1.0.1 hardware version. Now let's take a look at both the H3 Plus's power output and signal purity. Spoiler alert, they were both quite good. So I've got the H3 Plus connected to my MFJ 874. You'll notice I've got it on the 5 watt level there, this 5 watt radio, and we're measuring power. So we'll be reading this on the bottom arc. I've got the radio set to high power, and so let's see what we get here. So high power, 2 meters, looks to be about 3.9, almost 4 watts. Now let's go up to 440 and see what we get up there in the 70 centimeter band. Oh, a couple tenths less, looks to be about 3.6 watts, 3.6 watts on high power in the 70 centimeter band. Just for brevity's sake, I'm not going to measure those lower power levels, so we'll stick to 2 meter and 70 centimeter. And so we've got, just about 4 and about 3.5, which is not bad for a little 5 watt radio. So when I did the signal purity for the H3 Plus previous version, it came out clean, and I'm anticipating it for this one too. But since this has a different hardware version, they've done something to the hardware, so let's check it out. I've got my Tiny SA Ultra set up to measure harmonics. This horizontal blue line is the minus 16.02. That represents 25 microwatts, that any harmonics that may exist need to be below. And then the vertical lines there, this is the fundamental, and these would be the harmonics working up if there are any. And then, of course, if it's just a dirty signal, it could show up anywhere. So I've got the radio set to high power. It's a 5-watt radio. I've got 40 dB of attenuation going into my Tiny SA Ultra, and I'm on 146.52. So let's press to talk and see what we get. I'll let this go through the scan a couple of times to stabilize. And this looks very nice. I don't remember exactly what my H3, the previous version, was, but this is pretty cool. It's got minus 50, minus 50, minus 49.5. So all of these are well below that 16.02. All of them are more than 40 dB below the fundamental. And so on 2 meters, using that standard FCC criteria for radios in this frequency and power range, this is a clean radio. Very impressive. If you're not interested in Bluetooth accessories, the H3 Plus is available on the Tidradio site for about $36. With the Bluetooth accessories, as was shown here, it's available for $55. There are other combinations too. When I started working with this radio, it wasn't on Amazon yet. I just checked just now, and some of the radio and accessory combos are now available on Amazon. I'll leave affiliate links for both Tidradio's website and the Amazon store in the description below. One of the things I really like about the H3 is its small size. The H3 Plus stays true to that form factor. It slips easily into your pocket and can be easily clipped to your belt or backpack strap or any other webbing you might use when you're outdoors. Now, you may be asking yourself if this is worth upgrading to if you already have an H3. If you don't do the OD Master social stuff and don't mess with Bluetooth, then probably not. Your older H3 is still a great radio. On the other hand, if you have been a bit disappointed with the older H3's Bluetooth capability, then it's definitely worth the money to upgrade. Your old H3 would make a good backup or gift to a new ham. At this price point, the H3 Plus is, in my opinion, one of the best 5-watt radios on the market. A full feature set, USB-C charging and programming, several receive bands, and a clean signal should put this at the top of your list. Join me over here to check out my original H3 Plus review, where we'll go over some things omitted in this review. Again, please like and subscribe, and remember the affiliate links in the description below. Thanks for watching, and 73.